Hello, my dear students. Myself, Dr. Pitambar Umne, founder Botany for You, and working as Professor and Head Department of Botany, Dharampet MP Deo Memorial Science College, Nagpur, Maharashtra, India. I welcome you all in this online platform for the students of Life Sciences Botany for You. Friends, if you are new or not yet subscribed our YouTube channel, then kindly like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Botany for You. And also press bell icon for the alerts of every lecture to be uploaded on different life sciences titles. If you want to associate with us through the Telegram group, then the link is given in the description. Through that you can join the Telegram group and can take the advantage of the different career opportunities in life sciences in India and abroad, and also the literature assistance in the form of PDF. Friends, in our earlier classes, we have completed the glycolysis, oxidative decarboxylation and Krebs cycle, and the different reduced coenzymes, that is NADH2 and FADH2, which are formed in the glycolysis, oxidative decarboxylation and Krebs cycle later on are used for the formation of ATP in the next process of the aerobic respiration, and that is electron transport system. The electron transport system is also known as terminal oxidation as well as oxidative phosphorylation. So let's see today's topic, that is electron transport system. Friends, as we have seen earlier, the glycolysis is a gateway step and it is carried out in the cytoplasm. After glycolysis, the product which is formed, and that is the pyruvic acid, and the fate of the pyruvic acid is depend upon the presence and absence of the oxygen. If the oxygen is present, then there is aerobic respiration, and when the oxygen is absent, then there is anaerobic process that we have seen. And since our earlier classes, we are seeing here the aerobic respiration. After formation of this pyruvic acid, here it is used in the oxidative decarboxylation for the formation of acetyl coenzyme A, and this acetyl coenzyme A later on become substrate for the Krebs cycle. And all these processes, when are carried out, there is formation of NADH, again NADH or NADH2 in glycolysis and Krebs cycle as well as the FADH2. In every living organism, if you see, the ATP is known as energy currency, and hence here after the formation of NADH and FADH2, so these are first of all converted into ATP molecules so that the ATP will be available for the different metabolic processes in the organism. So this process of the conversion is carried out in the electron transport system. The oxidative decarboxylation and the citric acid cycle or the tricarboxylic acid cycle or the Krebs cycle, they are carried out in the mitochondria, while this electron transport system is also carried out inside the mitochondria. And hence here, as we have seen, the electron transport system or the terminal oxidation, this process is carried out inside the mitochondria. Now here you can observe the intermembrane space, means again here there is a outer membrane of the mitochondria. Then inner mitochondrial membrane, on which there are the presence of the Christie and F0, F1 particles. And the inside part is a mitochondrial matrix. It means that here this process of the electron transport system is located on the inner mitochondrial membrane. The three different things here are carried out. That there is an oxidation of the NADH2 and FADH2, then formation of water with the help of molecular oxygen which is taken during the respiration, and the formation of ATP molecules from ADP and inorganic phosphate. So during this process, the different cytochromes as well as the protein complexes which are present on the inner mitochondrial membrane, they are involved in the transport of proton and the electrons. So this is known as the electron transport system. While at the end here there is a formation of water molecules from the molecular oxygen, 2 protons and the 2 electrons, and this process is known as the terminal oxidation. And during this process at the different steps, there is release of the energy during the transport of electrons, and this energy is used for the combination of the ADP and inorganic phosphate, so that there is formation of ATP molecules, and hence it is known as the oxidative phosphorylation, because during this process there is a oxidation, and phosphorylation means the formation of high energy phosphates, that is nothing but the ATP molecules. So how it is carried out in the plants, or it is almost similar in the animals also, that we will see in the next slide. So here there are the different components which are involved in the electron transport system. If we see here, the substrate oxidized and the substrate reduced. So during this process here there is transfer of 2 protons plus 2 electrons, and later on here by the series of different components of the electron transport system, these 2 protons and the electrons are carried out. But if we see this process here, the NAD, then FAD and coenzyme Q or the ubiquinone, these are only the proton carriers, while the cytochrome B, cytochrome C, cytochrome C1A and the A3, so these are not the proton carriers. They can only travel the, or they can only carry the electrons, and hence the protons which are transported by the NADH2, FADH2 and ubiquinone, it is later on is transferred into the mitochondrial matrix. So if we see this one, first of all, when the NADH2 is entered in a electron transport system and it donates its 2 protons and the 2 electrons to FMN, that is flavin mononucleotide. So there is a reduction of this FMN, and in the same sense later on it donates its 2 protons and 2 electrons to the coenzyme Q, and again there is a reduction of the coenzyme Q. It means that here every time there is a oxidation and the reduction of the different components which are present in the electron transport system. Later on, the coenzyme Q or till the coenzyme Q, here there is a possibility of the transport of the electrons and the protons both at the same time. But the different cytochromes like the cytochrome B, cytochrome C1, cytochrome C, then cytochrome A and cytochrome A3. So these are only the electron carriers and not the proton carriers. And because of that, here the protons are released. And these protons are released in a intermembrane space, that is in between the inner and outer mitochondrial membrane, and the only electrons are transported by the different cytochromes which are involved in the electron transport system. Here the heme iron protein which is in association to that of the different cytochromes, it is continuously oxidized and reduced. So here there is a reduction and then the oxidation of the different iron proteins, and finally the electrons reaches the end where it combines with the molecular oxygen, and hence here the 2 electrons plus half of O2 plus these 2 protons, it means that here half of O2 plus 2 electrons plus 2 protons, it results into the formation of water molecule. So this process is carried out at the end, and hence it is known as the terminal oxidation. Now if you see the different places that when there is a transport of 2 protons and 2 electrons from the NADH2 to FMN, then there is release of energy from the electron, and that energy is used for the combination of the ADP and inorganic phosphate, which result into the formation of 1 ATP molecule. This is a first position where there is a formation of the ATP molecule. Again, when electron transport from the cytochrome B to cytochrome C1, again at this place here there is formation of the ATP molecule, and this is second place. In the similar way, when the electron passes through the cytochrome A to cytochrome A3, again there is a formation of ATP from ADP and inorganic phosphate. And in this way, this is third step. It means that when there is a utilization of one molecule of the NADH2, there is formation of 3 ATP molecules. One more thing, these different cytochromes which are involved in this electron transport chain have the ability to absorb or to transport the single electron at a time, and hence there is need of the 2 molecules of the cytochromes for the transport of electrons across the electron transport system. But if we see the another reduced coenzyme, that is FADH2, which directly transfer its two protons and electrons to the coenzyme Q. It means that this first step is bypasses when there is use of the FADH2 in the electron transport system. And hence, instead of 3 ATP molecules, here the FADH2 is responsible for the formation of only 2 ATP molecules. If you see the modern view of electron transport system and oxidative decarboxylation, then it says it is made up of 4 different protein complexes which are involved in the electron transport system. So here the flavoprotein internal dehydrogenase, flavoprotein succinate dehydrogenase, and the rest of the two are related to that of the different cytochromes. Here there are 3 different sites where there is a formation of ATP molecules with the help of ADP and inorganic phosphate, and the energy released from transport of the electron. And hence here, if we see the internal NADH and the second one, that is the external NADH. So what is this internal NADH and the external NADH? So this internal NADH means that the NADH which is formed in the mitochondria, while the external NADH, it means that the NADH which is formed in the cytoplasm. So we know that the Krebs cycle is carried out in the mitochondria. Oxidative decarboxylation is also carried out or takes place in mitochondria. But if we see the process of the glycolysis, then glycolysis takes place inside the cytoplasm. Means here there are the different sites of the entry of even NADH2 just like to that of the FADH2. And hence there is a difference in between the generation of the ATP molecules from the internal and external NADH2. And hence here the NADH2 which is formed in the glycolysis is not responsible for the formation of 3 ATP molecules. So see here, this is the first complex of the electron transport system in which there is a utilization of only the internal NADH. And during the electron transport system, here there is formation of the ATP molecules at the 3 different processes as we have seen earlier, that the formation of the 1 ATP molecule in between the NADH2 and FMN, then in between the cytochrome B and cytochrome C1, and in between the cytochrome A and cytochrome A3. The same type of the system of the formation of the ATP molecules here also. But the difference is that here this first step is bypasses by the flavoprotein succinate dehydrogenase complex, in which it is responsible to add the FADH2 in the electron transport system. So it directly enter to the ubiquinone, and hence here this first step is bypasses when there is utilization of the FADH2, and hence here only the 2 ATP molecules are formed during the oxidation of the FADH2. At the same time, when again there is utilization of the NADH or NADH2, again this first process is bypasses, and because of that again one NADH2 molecule when is oxidized in the electron transport system, that is also responsible for the formation of the 2 ATP molecules instead of 3 ATP molecules. So question is arise, why this external NADH2 molecule is unable to form the 3 ATP molecules and only can form the 2 ATP molecules. So if we see this difference in between these two, as we have seen here, this is a mitochondria, and the Krebs cycle and oxidative decarboxylation is carried out in the mitochondria, while the glycolysis is carried out in the cytoplasm. So the reduced coenzyme like the NADH2, which is formed in the glycolysis, when try to enter inside the mitochondria, only the outer membrane of the mitochondria is permeable to the NADH2 and the inner membrane of the mitochondria is impermeable to the NADH2. And because of that, here it bypasses the first process of the multi-enzyme or the multi-protein complex. And because of that, here this external dehydrogenase or the flavoprotein external dehydrogenase is present towards the intermembrane space on the inner membrane. And because of that, here instead of the formation of 3 ATP molecules from the NADH2 which is formed in the glycolysis, only there is formation of the 2 ATP molecules. This result into the formation of 36 ATP molecules in complete oxidation of the glucose instead of formation of the 38 ATP molecules. So as we have seen earlier also, here in the glycolysis there is a formation of the 2 molecules of the pyruvic acid from the 1 molecule of the glucose with release of 2 NADH molecule and 2 ATP. So here there is formation of 6 ATP molecules from the 2 NADH2. It means that here 2 plus 6, it becomes now the 8. But this 6 molecules, it means that 3 ATP molecules from 1 molecule of NADH. So this is only possible when there is presence of the mallet shuttle system, which is usually found in the animals. But in case of the plants, here instead of formation of 3 ATP molecules, there is formation of 2 ATP molecules only, and hence instead of the 8 molecules, there will be the formation of the 6 molecules or the 6 ATP molecules, and rest of all will be same as in the oxidative decarboxylation as well as the Krebs cycle. And hence instead of 38 ATP molecules, here the complete oxidation of the 1 molecule of the glucose, there will be formation of 36 ATP molecules, and hence this will be the net gain of the aerobic respiration. Again, if we see the total amount of energy which is present in the 1 molecule of the glucose, here after the release of 36 ATP molecules, here there is utilization of 40% of the energy which is present in the glycolysis and is formed in the form of the ATP molecules in the aerobic respiration, and rest of the energy is released in the form of heat. As we have seen, this formation of the ATP molecules is carried out in the inner membrane through electron transport system from the different reduced coenzymes like the NADH2 and FADH2, and hence because of the ability of the mitochondria in generation of the ATP molecules, it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. So friends, thank you very much for listening this lecture completely. I hope you can very well understand with the explanation given here in this lecture, and this lecture will be very much helpful to you in preparation of your examination. If you like this lecture and if it is beneficial to you, then kindly like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Botany for You, and also press bell icon for the alerts of every lecture to be uploaded on different life sciences titles. And don't forget to join our Telegram group with the link given in the description so that you can access the different career opportunities and literature in the form of the PDF. Thanks a lot once again.